1, 2, 3, 4. Hi there, my name is Erik and I play bass, and this is my latest and greatest pedalboard. The 2022 version of my, well, gigging setup, if you will. I tend to do one of these videos every year, pretty much, and I tend to change things up and switch things around. Some things remain, some things disappear, some things return. You know, it depends on what I feel like. And this year I felt like doing something like this. There are a few things about this pedalboard that are brand new for me. I've never done stuff like this before, so it's pretty fun to, you know, experiment around and see where this will take me. This pedalboard is a Pedaltrain Novo24. I'm gonna show you the guts of the board later on, so you can see, you know, the cables and the power and all of that good stuff later on. Like I said, it's a Novo24 pedalboard from Pedaltrain. Bought it myself with my own money, so there is no, you know, paid endorsement going on right there. The bass is split into two sections. We've got the bass section, which is this instrument right here. This is a bass. You play bass. And there is also a keyboard section, which you play, you know, keyboards on. So it's essentially two pedalboards in one. Weird, I know. The reason why I did this is because, well, with most bands that I play with, I usually play bass, and I more often than not also play some sort of keyboards or trigger some samples, or, you know, do the stuff that you would normally require a fourth member to do, or, you know, the drummer to be using a click track and all of that stuff. So I've kind of gravitated towards using stuff like this with my gigging setup because I enjoy doing it. It's a good challenge, and as long as they don't ask me to play keyboards and bass and sing at the same time, I'm normally pretty decent with doing this stuff live. But first things first, let's break things down and explain what's going on and why I've done some of the things that I've done with this pedalboard. So this board starts off with two Line6 Relay G70s. Before we go any further, I would just like to recognize the greatness that is this unit. There is no unit like this out there anymore, and as far as I understand, this one is discontinued and you can't get it, so I'm really happy that I've got two. The G70, what makes it so great is, one, it's a wireless unit that's pretty darn decent, you know, in terms of, you know, being a wireless unit. The second thing, and the thing that makes it so great, is, one, it's got a 1/4 inch input on the right side, so if you're, you know, rehearsing, you can just leave it on your pedalboard and plug your cables in and you're good to go. No need to use your wireless transmitters or, you know, unplug it from your pedalboard and run your cable into the first pedal of the board. You can just leave it there and plug your cable in, which is great. It also has 3 1/4 inch outputs, 2, you know, regular ones used for going to amps or other pedals or stuff like that, 1 buffered tuner output, and on the top it's also got an XLR output, which makes it also a DI box. If you're, you know, recording and you want to have a completely clean signal going to the board, you can do that, no problem whatsoever. and there is no pedal like this out there anymore that makes all of this. And if someone who makes wireless receivers is watching this, make something like the G70, because the world needs it. I need it. Make it. Back to the board. The reason why I need 2 wireless units is because my basses have 2 outputs. One of the outputs is for the P pickup, and one is for the neck pickup. And combined. So I need 2 wireless units to, you know, be able to be perfectly wireless with these basses. So there is that. And also when I'm using one output basses, I have a backup receiver in case something would go awry, because you never know. Those 2 wireless units go into the Neural DSP Quad Cortex, which is the main brains and the main center of my bass tones these days. I'm gonna go through the presets that I'm using in just a whiffy. However, with the Quad Cortex, I'm also using 2 external pedals. I'm using the Suncoast LM1 dynamic limiter and the Suncoast HD1 harmonic driver. And I'm gonna demonstrate what they do in just a iffy as well. The reason why I went with this setup is because I've been using the Quad Cortex with quite a lot of external pedals and preamps for a while. That was the main reason why I got this big Novo24 pedalboard, and I figured it was time to embrace more of the digital tone shaping available within the Quad Cortex and leave some of the analog gear behind here at home to slim things down and to challenge myself to tweak my tones further in the Quad Cortex. And I also found that having those external pedals, I normally tend to just go for using them instead of, doing various presets for various occasions. So that was why I slimmed things down this way. The 2 additional pedals, however, do something pretty cool for my tones, and I'm gonna demonstrate that right now. I've got 2 main presets dialed in at the moment. I've got this one, which is called LM1 HD1 Live Gate, and the reason why it's called that is because, well, it's used for live purposes, and it's got a nice noise gate hack that a very fine gentleman named Chris showed us Quad Cortex users a week or so ago. It's essentially taking the adaptive gate and you put it at the beginning and at the end of your signal chain, and you've got a really nice noise gate that, you know, adapts to your playing, which, you know, doesn't chop things off and leaves it pretty musical, to say the least. Anyways, I digress. This preset features some cool signal routing. We've got the precision pickup going both to output number 3, which is a 1/4 inch output, which I'm running to one of my amps. And it's also running to the XLR1 output. The woofer pickup, which is the lower mode, is going both to output number 4, which goes into another amp, and it also goes to the XLR output as well. So that is what you're hearing right now, which is a mixed signal, which is what I would send to the PA when I'm playing live. You know, give the front of house guy or gal something nice and easy to work with that's you know, pretty dialed in and all of that good stuff. So that's what's going on there. Tone-wise, I've got a few scenes going. We've got the clean-ish tone. We got the distortion tone. We've got a chorus. We've got a sub-octave thingy. And then we got some stupid lead stuff. Just like that. So that's what's going on within the Quad Cortex for this preset. In the effects loop, like I said, I've got two additional pedals, the Suncoast LM1 and the HD1. I'm gonna bypass those two pedals now so you can hear what they do. Here's with both pedals engaged. Here's without them. Just the LM1. Here's with the HD1 as well. Here's the HD1 without the LM1. With it. So the LM1 adds a bit of teeth to the clean tone and some life in general, at least to my ears and my fingers and, you know, my feelings, so to speak. And the LM1 is just an amazing limiter that feels so good to play through, which is why it's there on the board, I guess. So that's what those two pedals are doing. Here's in a different context. Here is in a more, you know, metal-based tone preset thingy. This one features just two tones. We got the clean-esque tone. Here's what the distortion tone sounds like. And here's what the Suncoast pedals are doing within this preset. So here's the clean tone without them engaged. Here's with just the limiter. Here's with the harmonic driver as well. Here's without the limiter. And with both. So I find that those two pedals give some nice life and spank to my digital tones, so to speak. So that's why they are there. And, you know, being analog pedals, they also allow me to do some, you know, fine tuning and get that tactile response that you get from, you know, twisting knobs. So that's a nice feature as well. And that's essentially my bass setup right now. The Quad Cortex allows me to send a processed signal straight to the front of house through the XLR output, which is what I'm doing with the LM1 HD1 preset, as well as with the metal bass preset. On the metal bass preset, I've got an Ampeg 810 cabinet block going on the signal that goes straight to the front of house, and on the signal that's going straight to my amp, there's only an EQ block at the end of the signal chain to allow me to trim away some of the excessive lows that you sometimes might get when playing live on a small stage. And that's pretty much my bass setup for now. Now to the second half of my pedalboard, which is the keyboard rig. My keyboard setup consists of two stomp boxes, if you will. We've got the Keith McMillen 12-step, which is a MIDI controller, which you can program to send one note, you can program it to send 5 notes, and you can program them to, well, you can do pretty much anything your heart desires. I'm using it mainly to trigger some keyboards. And some synths when I'm playing with Infinite Maiden or with 6 Feet Deeper or what have you. Because sometimes when you're doing Maiden tunes, you want some keyboards to go with your intros, like for instance on The Evil That Men Do. You kinda want those nice 80s synth chords to ring about for the guitar players to do their whittly bits over. So the 12 step is triggering MainStage on my MacBook Pro, which is an amazing software. You can do pretty much anything your heart desires and more. And yes, there is a learning curve to it, but once you get past that, you can really do some cool stuff with it. Along with the 12 step, I've got the Tech 21 Midi mouse going, which I use to, change patches so that I can, go between the different songs without needing to go over to my computer and press something over there. The Midi mouse is a really solid device, really handy, really easy to use, really straightforward. Along with my MacBook Pro, I've got the Radial USB Pro audio interface going. If you're a MainStage user, I highly suggest that you check out that nice little box, because it's just everything you need when you're playing live with your computer. I've tried using Focusrite interfaces and all of that, and you always need to find an additional DI box along with that, and it's always just a hassle. With that one, you got 2 XLR outputs that you can mono some. You've also got a headphone output in case you want to just play along by yourself with your headphones on. You got a headphone output on that one as well, and a really powerful headphone amp. And yeah, the USB Pro from Radial is just amazing for your keyboard stuff. This entire pedalboard operation is being powered by the Cioks DC7, which is expanded by the Strymon Ojai. The Cioks has been a great power supply ever since I've got it. I've been using the DC10 and the DC5 for years, and this one is just amazing if you're running some, thirsty units like the Quad Cortex or the HX Stomp or what have you. It's really nice to just have one power cable that you need to find a wall wart for. And yeah, it's amazing. A really solid piece of gear. And yeah, that's my pedalboard setup for 2022. The reason why I went with this, like I said, was to slim things down. I actually had 2 boards, one for my keyboard rig and one for my bass rig, which was fun, but it was just excessive and, well, I guess stupid, if you will. This way I need to have my pedalboard at the front of the stage and not at the back where it's safe from beer. But hey, maybe I'll just find a raincoat to drag over it or something. This way I've also got the 12 step with me at all times. I've been kind of lazy for some rehearsals, thinking like, oh, I'll do that for the next rehearsal and whatnot. I'll try and play some keyboards next time, and usually it's always good to have all of your stuff available at one time so that you can really fine-tune your playing to it and all of that stuff. Playing bass with your hands and keys with your feet takes some coordination to do. It's just fun to do, and you can split the pay 3 ways instead of 4, because you don't need to hire a keyboard player, given that you or the guitar player or the drummer can actually sing. Yeah. It's a really fun setup, and I'm really happy with how it has turned out. The one thing that's left for me to get, which I'll get today in the mail hopefully, is a different USB cable for the 12 step, because this one is straight and it kind of bumps into the Midi mouse. I need an angled cable for it to fit more snugly within this setup. But hey, that's life, and it's always fun to get new stuff in the mail, even if it's just a USB printer. Even if it's just a USB printer cable. So there you have it. This is my pedalboard setup for 2022. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below in the comment section. And I'll see you guys and gals and cats and dogs in the next video. Until next time, take care. Bye. Hi there, my name is Erik and I play bass. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to click on my face to subscribe to this YouTube channel. I try and post a video every Monday. Feel free to leave a comment down below and share this video with your friends and or your enemies. And I'll see you guys and gals and cats and dogs in the next video. Until next time, take care. Bye.